Formula One returned to the Southern Hemisphere last weekend with the race in Australia. It was a season open fixture for several years, but has since been pushed somewhat deeper into the F1 calendar. Normally, the track is not as challenging for drivers and is good for racing with limited on-track incidents. Everything has changed this year with record-breaking 4 red flag sessions. The surface of Albert Park was not friendly with drivers since the first practice sessions, and many drivers appear to be going out of the track. Some drivers either parked their cars in the gravel or had a short journey over the gravel area. In the end, it was another clear demonstration of the dominancy of Red Bull at the top, with another victory. The biggest improvement was shown by Mercedes, who were blamed for their zero-pod design from the commencement of the season. Aston Martin didn't show any considerable improvement, but was able to record the 3rd consecutive podium of the season. It was another disappointment for Ferrari, who is searching for a taste of a championship for more than a decade. But before we proceed, hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for more exciting updates. The qualifying session was a big heartbreak for Red Bull, who had scored back-to-back 1-2 finishes in the last 2 races, as Sergio Perez was knocked out of qualifying without even recording a lap time. He had a huge lock with a technical issue and was unable to keep his car on the track. Moving to the gravel runoff area, he tried his best to move his car out of the gravel, but within a few seconds, the Mexican understood that he had been totally trapped inside the gravel and had to book the bottom spot in the starting grid. Later, Oscar Piastri, Zhou Guanyu, Logan Sargent and Valtteri Bottas joined Perez to make the bottom 5, as their lap times were not competitive enough for Q1. In the second qualifying session, Lando Norris had a short journey through the gravel, but was lucky enough to rejoin the track. However, his effort was strong enough only for P13 in the starting grid. Esteban Ocon, Yuki Tsunoda, Kevin Magnussen and Nick de Vries also joined him later to share grid positions P10 to P15. The third qualifying session showed a clear pace improvement for the W14 Challenger, giving a better fight to both Red Bull and Aston Martin. However, Verstappen was able to resist the challenge from the Mercedes duo by winning the pole position for Sunday's Grand Prix. Behind him, Russell and Hamilton booked their grid positions. Fernando Alonso's lap time was only strong enough for P4. As usual, Nico Hülkenberg was able to push his underperforming Haas Challenger to the Q3. Alexander Albon also tasted a better race weekend, qualifying with a strong P8. A few seconds after the commencement of the race, George Russell was able to pass the pole sitter Verstappen thanks to the wheel spinning that he has experienced. Later, he was passed by Hamilton too. Unfortunately, Charles Leclerc drove his car into the gravel at turn 3 after a contact was made with Stroll's AMR 23, ending his Australian Grand Prix much earlier. Then, race control called for a full safety car session and the race was resumed at lap number 4. 3 laps later, Alexander Albon lost control of his FW45 and experienced a heavy crash at turn number 7. A safety car session was called by the race control to clean the debris that had been scattered across the turn. Russell immediately came for his first pit stop and switched to harder compounds. He was followed by Carlos Sainz, opting for the same strategy. The track was not ready for racing and the race was red flagged, allowing marshals to remove the debris. Thanks to Russell's pit stop, Hamilton was leading the race. The biggest losers of the safety car session were Russell and Sainz, as their rivals were able to change their cars during the stoppage. Even though Hamilton restarted the race at the front, he was easily passed by Verstappen at turn number 9 with the help of DRS. Russell had lost some important track position during his tyre change and he was charging through the pack to retake his track position. He passed Gasly for 4th on lap number 14 and overtook Lance Stroll in the following lap. Then his power unit caught up in a fire in lap 18 and the race control called for a brief virtual safety car period. The race was resumed and Verstappen was in the lead without much considerable attack from drivers behind him, but he lost control of his car in lap number 46, driving into the grass at the final corner. However, thanks to the clear gap he maintained with Hamilton, he was able to rejoin the race without losing much track position. The race was red flagged once again at lap 55 when Kevin Magnussen kisses the barrier with his right rear wheel at turn 2. His rear suspension failed, detaching the tyre from the rim. The race was one more time red flagged in a much more controversial way after this incident. Based on the track position, Verstappen was in the lead at the restart. When the pack was reaching turn number 1, Sainz tapped Alonso to a spin. This resulted in a collision between Alpine teammates Gasly and Ocon, and they ended up their race in the barriers. The rookie duo Sargent and De Vries were optionless and drove into the gravel, trapping themselves inside it. The race was reflagged once more and restarted for the final lap with the help of the safety car. This race was an important achievement for Verstappen's career as he won it for the first time. Mercedes also showed a great improvement in the race in terms of pace, and Hamilton was able to record his first podium of the season. Alonso scored his third consecutive podium of the season as well. And thanks to all the drama that happened in the race, McLaren duo Norris and Piastri were able to mark their first points finish of the season. The race at Albert Park ended in a much more dramatic way, with a number of collisions, causing much more damage to the budgets of the majority of teams. Now, F1 is ready to race in the Northern Hemisphere again, with the race in Azerbaijan, and most of the teams are ready to introduce their first mega upgrades of the season at Baku, especially Mercedes. What do you think about Race Control's record-breaking red flag sessions in Australia? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel to get more exciting Formula 1 news. See you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.